Hello everyone, my name is Katie, I'm a Marsh Swiggle. Welcome to my monthly TBR game. November is a very special month for me and my family because in a couple days it will be my partner's birthday, and then at the end of the month, right after Thanksgiving, it will be my birthday. And I have very good news going into my birth month. I finished all my prompts in October, guys. Didn't do it with the books I anticipated. I had to stretch one prompt to make it work, but you know what? I'm counting it as a win. Happy birthday to me. So really quick before we get to the roles, I'm gonna tell you what prompts I got in October, what I read to fulfill those prompts, and then we're also going to pull a reward. Last month in October, I had to pull a punishment, and I pulled a TBR card, and I had to read a book that had some type of urban setting. So I read this graphic novel, Chef's Kiss, and it was delightful. Highly recommend. For my first role, I got a yellow flower. So I read this picture book, which is written in verse, called Green on Green. Also excellent, would highly recommend. For my second role, I got another yellow flower, which means poetry or a play. And I decided to read another poetry picture book, and I read Be a Tree. It's from the same illustrator as Green on Green. It was great. I enjoyed it immensely. For my third role, I got a greenery space, which means nonfiction. And I read this picture book about Gordon Parks, who's a famous photographer who photographed working class Black Americans to highlight injustices in our country. For my fourth role, I got another greenery space, back-to-back greenery spaces, and I read She Made a Monster. This is a picture book biography about Mary Shelley and how she came up with the concept of Frankenstein's monster. For my fifth role, I got a succulent, which means I got to read a horror novel. Now, for this one, I had to stretch it a little bit, but it's, you know what? I'm going into my birthday month. I don't care at this point because I need to not pull a punishment this month so desperately. This is not a horror novel. I'm hearing you say in the comments, Katie, what you're about to show me is not a horror novel. And viewer, you are correct. This is not a horror novel, but I'm still counting it because I'm still counting it because I can, okay? I'm going into November. I need a win, guys. I need a win. I read this essay, I Choose Darkness by Jenny Lawson. This is a nonfiction essay, but it's about Halloween. And there's a story in it about her dad scaring her when she was a little girl during Halloween so badly that she literally peed her pants. So you know what? I'm gonna count it. I am going to count it so hard. I read this, it was delightful. I read this right before Halloween. Great way to get me into the spirit. For my sixth role, I got a blue flower. And blue flowers mean that I have to read a classic or a literary fiction novel. And I read The Halloween Tree by Ray Bradbury. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I actually did a vlog. I did a Halloween vlog that's been up on my channel for a hot minute. And for my last role, I got a TBR card. I always get a TBR card for my last role. And I had to read a library book. And I read Hardly Haunted by Jessie Sima. Jessie Sima, if you don't know, is like my top 3 picture book authors of all time. Like, they're incredible. I don't have the physical library book anymore because I returned it to the library. But this was a library book. I checked it out from my local library. I read it with my kiddo for spooky season. It was a great time. So with that said, I am going to do things a little bit differently this month with my reward system because it is my birthday. It's my birthday this month, and I want to have the most stress-free reading month possible. I have my reward jar and I am going to pull 2 rewards for this game. I promise this is something I will only be doing in the month of November. This is not going to be a normal thing. I just need a break. Ooh, so I get an extra dice, an 8D, which again, I know it should say D8. I'm so sorry. Skip a prompt. Heck yeah. Okay. I feel good about this. So we have skip a prompt and a extra D8 along with my regular D20. Let's do this thing. This is roll number 1. That is 19 total.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
19. Romance. Yes. Great first roll. What the heck? We almost got a 20 and it's my favorite genre of all time. I'm going to read The Governess and the Orc by Finley Fenn. Now, listen, let me tell you about this series. These books are an ongoing story about a group of orcs who live in this giant mountain. These books are kind of like a new beginning for the orcs because they're slowly starting to find peace and they're, bringing in women into their community who have sway with the outer world. Things are getting better is what I'm trying to say for these orcs. Long story short, this book is about a governess, as you can probably tell by the title, who is working as a governess for a wealthy family, and she hates her job, hates her life, is awful. And then one day, this giant orc man comes to her employer's house and is like, yo, I'm here to take this man's gold. And she's like, I think reluctantly helping him steal from her employer. And then when they're, done stealing, he offers to split it with her if she will come back to with him to Orc Mountain and pretend to be his mate for a month. I'm so excited to read this book. This is something that I was going to put on my TBR and read regardless because I have to know what happens in the next leg of this story because I am so invested in some of the previous characters. Let's go on to the next roll. This is roll number 2. 16 plus 7 is 23.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
Fantasy! Yes! I think we're over halfway through the board now, and we're only on roll number 2. I have decided for this prompt, I'm going to read The Sad Ghost Club by Liz Meddings. This has been on my TBR all year long. And the reason I haven't picked it up yet is because I can't find it anywhere. I have to physically buy this book at this point. I've tried to find it on Scribd. I've tried to find it through multiple library systems. Nobody has this book. And I don't know why, because the cover in itself just sells this book. Like, who doesn't want to read a book, a graphic novel about a bunch of sad ghosts? I want to read a graphic novel about a bunch of sad ghosts. My partner, who is not a reader, he reads all day for his job. He reads like technical manuals. The last thing he wants to do is come home and read a book, right? He said he wants to read this book. I have shown him the cover, and every time I show him the cover, he's like, oh, I think I actually would like to read that one. So let's get going. This is roll number 3. 13 plus 8 is 21.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
21, oh my God, we're done. All right, something with a rural setting. What is happening? So I need to read a book that has a rural setting, and I am going to pick up Into the Riverlands by Negev Vo. This is the 3rd novella in a series of novellas about this non-binary monk who lives in a fantastical version of China and has a talking bird that is their constant companion called Almost Brilliant, which is just such a great name for a character. They are a part of an order of monks that prizes story and history above all else. And so our main character is basically just a wanderer and just goes around to different kingdoms and different lands, and with the help of their sidekick, Almost Brilliant, basically just record as much history as humanly possible. So my friends, thank you so much for being here with me. I am sorry that this was not a very exciting game, but I hope I gave you some good recommendations, and I hope you have a great rest of your month. Stay tuned for more videos, and I'll see you later. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and have a great day. Bye.